Good day, everyone. So, for today's video, I'm going to share with you the story about how the world and mankind were created. So, this is your reporter, Rizolian Alboro. So, without further ado, I am going to start. So, in the very beginning, there was a great void known as chaos. The first immortal outrageous as the sea, dark, wasteful, and wild. No one ever tried to explain. Two children were born to this shapeless nothingness. Night was the child of chaos, and so was Erebus, which is the unfathomable depth where death dwells. So long before the gods appeared, in the dim past, uncounted ages ago, there was only a formless confusion of chaos brooded over by unbroken darkness. So, in the whole universe, there was nothing else. All was black, all was empty, nothing silent and endless. So, from this horror blank, boundless vacancy, the best of all things came into being. So, here, naghihinay na ugnaan na yung mga creatures na ni-appeared. So from the darkness and death, love was born rather, which began to banish the blind confusion. So in order to vanish the darkness that the universe had before, so love was born in order to banish everything that makes black or blank. Yeah. So with the coming of love and light, it seemed that the earth should also should appear. Hesiod, the first Greek who tried to explain how things began. So Hesiod tried to explain the things explain the things and how did the universe have created. So the earth, the beautiful rose up of all things, and fair earth firstborn. The starry heaven equal to herself, a home forever of blessed gods. So at this moment, the sky, the heavens, the stars, and restless sea were present. So here, the first creatures who have the appearance of life were the children of Mother Earth, Gaia, and Father Heaven, Uranus. So they were monsters. So Gaia and Uranus were monsters, and they had a shattering, overwhelming strength of earthquake and hurricane and volcano. So since Mother Earth and Father Earth have been married, or they have been the first creature had appeared of life, they produced monsters too. So as they were monsters, then they produced monsters. Yeah, monsters and monsters. So there are three monstrously huge and strong as had existed. So the first one is 100 hands and 50 heads. So I know some of you had an idea what is the look-alike. So next, or the second one, is Cyclops, or often called as the three-eyed. Yeah. So the Cyclops, often defined or can be described as has one enormous eye that can be found at the middle of a forehead. Yeah. So based on what I have visualized, or I have been research about this in order to see what Cyclops is that their eye is similar to the shape or the size of the wheel. So it can be found in the middle of the forehead. So they were gigantic, in which they towering up the mighty mountain crags and devastating in their power. So the last but not the least monster is the Titans, or were the Titans. So they were the number of this, and they were in no way inferior to the others in size and strength. So Titans have their own uniqueness and they have their own purpose. But they were not purely destructive. Several of them were not or even beneficent. So there are some Titans that good and bad. So similar to us um, human beings, there are good and there are bad. So that's it. So Uranus had one monster he hated so much. So it is the 100 hands and 50 heads. So he imprisoned it in the secret place within the earth. So in order for the other monsters not to see this kind of creature, um, the Uranus, the Father Earth, hid the 100 hands and 50 heads underworld. So means that only Cyclops and the Titans left at large. So the Earth and Ragged at the treatment appealed them to help her. So Cronus lay in wait for his father and wounded him terribly. Afterwards, the giants, as the fourth race of monsters, sprung up from his blood. From this time too, the Enrias or the Furies were born. The Furies sometimes were called as those who walk in darkness. So the Furies or the Enrias, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. So yeah, the Furies has a purposeful birth as they had appeared because they were the one who punished sinners. So next, from that time, from the time on, from untold ages, Cronus, also called by Roman mythology as Saturn, which means the Lord of the universe. So take note of this, that Cronus can be called as Saturn, and it means he was the Lord of the universe. So Cronus has this sister Rhea, so ops in Latin. Her sister Rhea, also called as Queen Rhea. So Cronus married her sister Rhea, and they produced 6 children. So the children of Rhea and Cronus were Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Yeah, so there were 6. But then one of their sons, the future ruler of heaven and earth, whose name in Greek is Zeus, in Latin Jupiter, rebelled against his father Cronus. So Cronus had learned that one of his children was destined to dethrone him someday. And he thought he to go against fate by swallowing them as soon as they were born. So when Rhea gave birth to their children, Cronus swallowed them. So next, but when Rhea bore Zeus, her 6th child, or his youngest child, he succeeded in him having secretly carried off the crate, while she gave her husband a great stone. So he tricked his husband, wrapped it in swaddling clothes, in which Cronus supposed or thinks that was Zeus. That's why he swallowed down accordingly. So when Zeus was born, or when Zeus was grown, so at that time when Rhea saved Zeus, so si Zeus ang nabuhi. So si Zeus ang wa gikaon. Then when Zeus was grown, he forced his father with the help of his grandmother, the earth. So Zeus, at this moment, Zeus met Metis, the goddess of wisdom. She knows everything, and Zeus would like to ask to make him make a potion in order for his father to disgorge along his five siblings. So Zeus was succeed in his plan, and it disgorged his siblings into full-grown gods. So as when Zeus had been victorious in his plan, at this kind of plan that he had been doing, or he had been did. So his five siblings were disgorged into full grown gods. So Poseidon, the god of the sea, Hades, the god of the underworld, Hera is the god of human, family, and marriage and childbirth, while Demeter, goddess of agricultural fertility, and Hestia, the goddess of the earth. So, but then there followed a terrible war between Cronus and Zeus. So it was a father and son war, yeah, with help by his brother Titans. So Zeus was helped by his five brothers and sisters. So Zeus and his siblings conquered the Titans. So kung sa atua pa ni karon, ang igsuon ni Zeus ilang gikontra ang mga igsuon pud sa ilang papa. So Zeus released the 100-handed monsters being present. So, but then kay na-release naman ang being present Prometheus, who was, so sorry for that noise, and who was very wise, took sides with Zeus, and he punished his conquered enemies terribly. So Zeus, and so in this part of punishing his conquered enemies, Zeus bound the bitter chains beneath the eye with wide earth. Next, Prometheus' brothers Atlas suffered a still worse fate. So this titan named Atlas was condemned. Even after the Titans were conquered and crushed, Zeus was not completely victorious. Why? Because Earth gave birth to her last and most frightful offspring, a creature more terrible than any that had gone before. His name was Typhoon. So, a flaming monster with 100 heads who rose up against gods. Death whistled from his fearful jaws, and his eyes flashed glaring fire. So, when we are going to visualize or imagine how Typhoon is really terrible, so it looks like a monster, really a great monster that almost that can destruct all over the universe. But Zeus had now got the thunder and lightning under his control. They had become his weapons, used by no one else. So only Zeus had the control of the thunder and the lightning. He struck Typhoon down, and the bolt that never sleeps, thunder with breath of flame, into his very heart the fire burned. His strength was turned into ashes. So this means Typhoon's strength was turned into ashes, and he now lies a useless thing. The last problem that Zeus encountered is that when the giant rebelled by the help of his son, mighty Hercules, heaven over the brutal forces of earth was complete. And from them on, Zeus and his brothers and sisters ruled, undisputed lords of all. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope you understand something, and that would be all. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.